What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today we are breaking down the latest from Robert Saleh's press conference, Jet News, and the big storyline today, I think far and away from Robert Saleh's press conference, was about the offensive line, which makes sense because the Jets' offensive line unfortunately is dealing with a ton of injuries for the second season in a row. But Robert Saleh hinted at Dwayne Brown making a return. Eventually, he will be activated off of IR. And when he does, they seem like they're going to make some changes to their offensive line.
You still believe he's 1 year, 5,000?
Yeah, I do. You know, he's for Dwayne, just coming off of the injury, and you guys can talk to him. He can probably give you a better picture of the things that happened. Was he 100% when we got him back? I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that for him. I think he wanted to be back so badly that I think maybe we compromised some of the rehab. But in terms of just the speed of it, and I think he's in great shape right now. I think he's in a great space mentally, and like I said, we'll get him going at some point. We'll get him going this week and see where he's at.
So that great shape probably means that 21-day window. Like, you're confident this isn't going to be like a long recovery for him to get back.
Not at all, no.
So Robert Saleh said that Mekhi Becton is good at either left tackle or right tackle, which is notable because if Dwayne Brown comes back, is he going to play? And then he says, where we are right now, we have to make sure the best five are on the field, right? The best five. We always hear that from this Jets coaching staff, this regime. You got to earn it. The best five, the best this. That's what we hear. He would then go on to say that he believes that Dwayne Brown is still one of the best five offensive linemen that the New York Jets have. I don't think that I'm there. I don't think that's where I am right now, based on what we saw so far this year. Now, granted, the Jets have since had a few injuries, but of the offensive tackles that have played this year, Dwayne Brown, Mekhi Becton, Elijah Vera-Tucker, and Max Mitchell. So how many is that? Max Mitchell, Dwayne Brown, Elijah Vera-Tucker, Mekhi Becton. That's four. Of the four offensive tackles that have come in and played regular season snaps for the New York Jets, has Dwayne Brown not been the worst of the four? Right? Like, I don't think it's debatable. I really don't. I think the offensive line looked its worst in the first 2 weeks of the season. And I don't think it's a surprise that once he goes out, and unfortunately he was out with injury, I don't want to ever see anyone get hurt, but the Jets, it forced their hand to make a change. And the offensive line was actually pretty good for 3 weeks in a row in week 3, 4, and 5 with this new version of the offensive line. Then injuries come back in Denver because, of course, AVT goes down and they have to, move some guys around, and Joe Tippmann ends up going down. And they've had a ton of injuries since then. But you have Max Mitchell healthy. You have Mekhi Becton healthy. I would just stick with them. I honestly would. I don't think I'm putting Dwayne Brown back into lineup. I don't agree that he's one of the best five. And even if he is, why would you move the one guy who's been pretty good for you? The left side of the offensive line, I think, has been mostly fine ever since it's been Laken Tomlinson and Mekhi Becton. I know Mekhi had a really rough game against the Giants last week. He did. Kayvon Thibodeau got the better of him. There's no denying it. It wasn't a good game. Even after the game, Mekhi Becton tweeted about it. He knows he didn't play well. Doesn't mean he's a bust. It doesn't mean he sucks. It just means he didn't have a good day. It's going to happen sometimes. Unfortunately, that's the NFL. The other guys get paid too. Kayvon Thibodeau isn't a bust. He's a really damn good football player. And he got beat. It's what happens. But when you look at, Brown versus Mekhi Becton, Brown in the 2 games that he played, 8 pressures and 2 sacks. He leaves. As I said, offensive line gets better. Mekhi Becton comes in, 16 pressures, 5 sacks, and 5 games. The pressures are still a little bit on the high side, no denying that. But that's 3.2 pressures versus 4 pressures per game, and the 1 sacks per game is equivalent to what Dwayne Brown was doing. And Mekhi Becton's a better run blocker. We saw Mekhi, at least the last few weeks, Mekhi Becton and Laken Tomlinson have done a pretty good job of clearing running lanes on the left side of the football field. It wasn't the case before that. They struggled running to the left when it was Lakin Tomlinson and Dwayne Brown. They were better running to the right side with Elijah Vera Tucker and Mekhi Becton over there. Losing AVT really has hurt in the run game the last couple weeks, which is kind of expected. But I'm not messing with it. You're going to move Becton back to the right side now? So he goes, starts at the left side, only playing left tackle. That's only where he's comfortable with, right? That's only where he's going to be. On the eve of the season, Dwayne Brown comes back. They move him to the right side. He was getting those reps at right tackle anyway. He's okay, not great, but okay. Then he moves back over to the left side and is holding down the fort, playing pretty solid football for the most part outside of one pretty tough game. And now he's going to move him back. It's the Michael Scott snip snap thing again, all over again. What is it? Pick one, man. And again, I'm not convinced that Dwayne Brown at this point is one of the best starting five, but why couldn't you move Dwayne Brown? I understand he's played significantly more at left tackle. It's been a really, really long time. And, before the season, fine, like Mekhi Becton has more flexibility to play both sides. But one, when Dwayne Brown played, he wasn't playing well. And number two, Mekhi Becton has played well at left tackle. So if someone like Jason Peters, who at 40, by the way, can switch sides from left to right and then also move inside. He started 2 games at guard in 2020 and played some guard last year as well, if I'm not mistaken, for Dallas. Why can't you ask the same? And I know everybody's different, right? Everybody's body's different. Sure, some guys are more comfortable with it than others. I understand each circumstance is unique. I'm not saying, oh, well, it worked for this guy. It's going to definitely work for him. But again, I don't want to mess with the good thing going. There's been so much volatility with this offensive line and so much just rotation of guy after guy after guy. It's enough, man. You found something that's working on the left side of your offensive line. Center's going to be an issue until Joe Tippmann's back. More on that in a second. And the right side is obviously a work in progress, but I don't know. I don't love the idea, and I don't love the answer from Robert Saleh. And as we said, mentioning Joe Tippmann, Robert Saleh wasn't really committing on if Joe Tippmann will be back or not this week. We know the quotes that he had last week. Oh, Joe Tippmann, fast healer, this and that. And maybe he's back. It's a Monday game, which probably helps things a little bit. You get that one extra day, but your other option is pretty much Xavier Newman at this point. But I think it would be in the Jets' best interest to get Joe Tippmann back as soon as possible. I'm not saying you rush him back. I don't think that's fair to ask of him, but if he's ready, he's got to come back in and play at center. I appreciate Newman for coming in and making a big play in a big spot. Totally understand that, but I don't know. If they're truly, truly trying to get your best unit out there, I'm not convinced it's with Dwayne Brown at left tackle. I'm not anyway. I want to hear from you. Do you guys think that Dwayne Brown is the best option for the New York Jets at left tackle? Let me know in the comments. Please like the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed for whatever reason. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.